A warm welcome, as always, to the Vanarama National League highlight show. Chris Hargreaves alongside me to provide insight and, if we're really lucky, entertainment. Let's get to the action without further ado, starting with a top-of-the-table clash. Wrexham against Dagenham and Redbridge in the company of Richard Newman.
Dagenham and Redbridge manager Daryl McMahon signed a new contract until June 2024 this week after guiding his side to the top of the table. But it was host Wrexham who took an early lead. Summer signing Paul Mullin with a stunning effort from distance to get his third goal of the season. The Daggers improved in the second half and they really should have pulled a goal back. Paul McCullum forcing a fine save from Rob Langton. Josh Walker could only hit the post with his follow-up. A first defeat of the season was looking likely for Dagenham unless they could pull a late goal back. Miles Weston tried to create it with a weaving run. McCullum with the header over the bar. A disappointing day for McMahon's side, just their second loss in 17 matches.
I think we've shown in so far this season we're a very good side, and that second half performance, we've gone toe to toe with supposedly the best side in the division, and I thought we were better than them today. But we've got to believe in it now and believe in ourselves and go and perform for the rest of the season and finish as high as we can.
Chesterfield were looking to protect their unbeaten start at a Yeovil side which has played fewer games than their rivals around them. Yeovil had a Josh Staunton effort ruled out early in this game, and that proved to be a big moment. Shortly after, Manny Oyaleki's shot hit the post and deflected off the unfortunate Grant Smith into the net. Kabongo Shimanga likes playing against Yeovil. He'd scored 3 and 4 appearances against them before this game, and the informed striker doubled the Spireites lead, his 7th goal of the season. Chesterfield saw out the game, and James Rowe's men are the new team at the top of the table.
Without getting carried away, it's another clean sheet, 5 and 7. We want to build from that foundation, and we know we've got goals in the team, so another 2-0. Really pleased with the players' performance.
Grimsby went into their match with Eastleigh on the back of their best unbeaten start to a season in 7 years. The Mariners took the lead just before half-time. Defender Mishi Efete with his second goal in 3 games. Chances for Eastleigh were few and Grimsby were threatening a second. Ben Fox extending their advantage with a thumping finish. His first goal for the club. Not bad for a midfielder who hadn't scored in almost 3 years. The victory could have been even more emphatic. A smart move from the hosts led to a foul on Wilbur Panga, penalty to Grimsby. John McAtee could only hit the post. A fine win for Paul Hurst's men, who jumped to 3rd.
Yeah, terrific start for Grimsby, and we'll come back to them in a moment. But let's start with Wrexham and Dagenham, which was probably the game of the weekend at the top. Wrexham with the early strike coming out on top, but Daryl McMahon obviously felt that they'd played their part in it.
Yeah, listening to Phil's post-match, he said that it's the best they've played first half, and perhaps Dagenham edge it second, but very cagey from Daryl there.
Yeah.
But they've got momentum. You know, I think 8,000 fans there today, wasn't there?
Amazing.
Incredible
for
this level.
Goal's worthy of a winner.
Yeah, what a goal. I mean, he's a real statement signing, wasn't he? 3-year deal from Cambridge. Yeah. Saw the potential of the club, clear potential. It doesn't guarantee it with supposedly one of the biggest budgets, but that key word of momentum and that sort of feel-good factor with the fans will go a long way.
Yeah, as they say, money can't buy you happiness, but you can rent some.
It does.
You can
doesn't
rent
do a bad job.
No,
yeah.
Exactly. Listen, Chesterfield have got, I'm sure, a very competitive budget, good manager, good squad. Shimanga obviously is a marksman they've been looking for, and Oyaleki's chipping in as well.
Well, yeah, they're a handful. They really are. I mean, this one's deflected. It's a bit fortuitous, but you've got to shoot to score, and this one, he is on fire. Yeah. I mean, honestly, direct, powerful, quick. He's got a bit of composure now, scored a hatful for Boreham Wood, doing the same now. Got a big future, and he's young as well, 22, 23, so he's got a big career ahead.
And of course you've got obvious connections to Grimsby. First time they've won all 4 at home at the start of a season since Laurie McMenemy in the early 70s. That's even before your time.
My time in black and white. Yeah. No, great header to start it off.
Header.
Yeah, bullet header. And they're expecting, it's a hotbed of football, really important for the community. A brilliant start from Paul Hurst and the boys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And listen, it is early, half a dozen games or so, and some have played more than others, but already you sense there are definitely a handful of teams that you can say they're not going to be miles away this season. They all have that kind of look.
No, that's right, and I think for more this season than ever, the competition is so fierce. You know, big clubs, old historic clubs, big budgets, really good squads assembled, and the league's attracting a calibre of player and manager like never before. So, you know, real exciting season ahead.
Bodes well for us watching, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah. And it's a place that, you know, clearly it gets a lot of exposure, the league, but the standard's getting higher, and there's more ambition in it. Either clubs that have, you know, been relegated that need desperately to get back up, or clubs that are, you know, new to the league and have got also that ambition.
Absolutely. On which point, obviously, the departure of Kabonga Tshimanga to Chesterfield might have meant Boreham Wood had to downscale their ambitions for the season, but 6 unbeaten going into today's game. We'll see how they get on, among others, in the company of Michael McCann.
Boreham Wood travelled to Solihull Moors knowing a win might take them top of the league if other results went their way. But the Wood were behind early on when Will Evans's header left keeper Nathan Ashmore stranded, handing Joe Sabara his 7th goal in just 6 games, already the best scoring season of his career. Solihull were 2 up just shy of the half-hour mark, Danny Newton squeezing in his maiden strike for Moors, a summer signing after being released by Stevenage. Boreham Wood had one back before the break though through Jacob Mendy, the defender's first goal since joining from Wealdstone. 3 minutes after the restart, Solihull restored their 2-goal lead, Newton scoring his 2nd of the game, confirming a first loss of the season for Boreham Wood and a 3rd straight win for Solihull. Unbeaten Notts County knew avoiding defeat would ensure their best start to a league season since 2005, and they led 3 minutes into the second half through defender Alex Lacey's first goal at Meadow Lane. County had a penalty to double their lead after a clumsy challenge from Ryan Upwood on Ruben Rodriguez. But Callum Roberts' spot kick was to be superbly saved by Rhys Lovett. Soon afterwards, Lovett was needed to rescue Maidenhead again, saving well after Joel Taylor weaved his way through. Notts County victors in the clash of the Magpies. Stockport hadn't lost against Halifax in 10 meetings since 1989, and County nearly went in front here when John Rooney danced through and hit the post. The visitors have kept 8 successive away clean sheets, but that streak was ended by their former player Matthew Warburton's fine free kick, opening his goal account for Halifax. Shaman made it 2-0 late on when Tom Bradbury grabbed his 2nd goal in as many games. And in stoppage time, Halifax had a 3rd. Billy Waters with his 6th goal in 7 this season, confirming an end to Stockport's club record away unbeaten run of 11 without defeat since March.
Let's start there, Chris, because it was a long and very proud, I'm sure, away record for Stockport, but just not the start of the season I'm sure Simon Ruskin and the squad, and no doubt the owners, will have wanted.
No, I mean, they have assembled a good squad, but it's by no means a disaster. And today, playing against a good side, you know, we've seen Pete at Yeovil recently, where he had the bit between his teeth. He was annoyed with the performance, but yeah, Halifax made some good signings, and there's one of them. You know, 6 in 7, Billy Waters, in and out at Torquay, but he really fancies it for himself this season. Yeah.
They are a good team on their day, absolutely. That's fair to say, Halifax. As are Solihull, who sometimes go a little bit under the radar. Neil Ardley obviously in there now. Pretty direct stuff it looked like today, certainly for the first 2 against Boreham Wood, who aren't normally this profligate.
Yeah, no, I mean, a little bit suspect. There's Keystone Cops there from the centre half and the keeper, but this is how to make sure you're going to score.
7 for Spara already.
Incredible, yeah. Former West Brom youth product, having a really purple patch.
Yeah.
Solihull normally strong at home, have challenged, haven't they, over a couple of seasons, probably underperformed last season, so they'll be looking to that home form to sort of give them a chance of competing this season around the top.
Yeah, and a word on Notts County, excellent start. Obviously they're unbeaten as Chesterfield are, and I think given for teams that came up just short at the end of last season, to start this strongly is testament to the manager and the players.
It is actually, yeah. Again, we talk about that sort of hangover from potential hangover after missing out on playoffs, which they did last season. But you know, winning a game 1-0 at home, you know, getting a clean sheet, the pressure of playing at home as well at County is not to be underestimated at any league they've ever played in. It's a big club.
I know we missed the pen today, but you've got Callum Roberts, Ruben Rodriguez, there's a lot of creativity there.
There is creativity, goal scorers with Wootton as well. So we know they'll be there or thereabouts, but with that one critical automatic spot, so difficult.
It is, yeah, absolutely. Just the one team guaranteed, obviously that team that wins the league, to move up to League 2. OK, we'll take a quick break, after which we'll be here at the Bob Lucas Stadium in the southwest for the late game. That, of course, Weymouth down here in the southwest, who've made a good start to the season against Dover, desperate for points after a very difficult journey down here. Highlight to that one next. Welcome back to the National League Highlight Show. Chris Hargreaves alongside me to consider the game that we saw here at the Bob Lucas Stadium between Weymouth, who started the season pretty well with some good results, particularly here, against Dover, who of course are desperate to climb somehow away from danger, having started the season on -12. Watching the game here unfold, Adam Virgo and Dan Mason.
The best that Dover can hope for today is to make another dent in their point deduction. Ben Williamson goes down. Big appeals for a penalty, waved away by referee Scott Tallis.
I think they could be slightly hard done by there, Dover. I think it would have been a penalty, in my opinion, just purely on the basis of Ben Williamson, who got goal side of Tyler Cordner and then been drawn into a foul with a bit of contact, stopped him going through to maybe get a toe onto that through ball.
Arthur, oh, what a shot! Kobe Arthur with his second goal of the season, and Dover have got the goal that their dominance has deserved in the opening 22 minutes. A sensational strike from the midfielder, and Andy Hessenthaler's side take the lead. Space for Murray to pick out Harfield, he goes for goal, pushed away by Parks. Super save and a great strike from Ollie Harfield. McCoy. Murray. Ash, here's McCoy, great finish. Flag stage down and Weymouth are level. Josh McCoy started and finished the move. The captain delivers for the Terrors, who are back on level terms with 42 minutes on the clock.
Well, doesn't really say too much that Brian Stockface still not happy with the performance, but it's a massive goal just going into half-time.
Here comes Andy Robinson. Was he bundled over by Tienza? He was. Taken quickly. There's Ash. Well, he's getting closer, Bradley Ash. He's having opportunities all of a sudden. Could be problems here. There's Brandon Goodship. He has Bradley Ash in the middle. There is Ash. And saved by Adam Parks. It was a deflected, spinning, bouncing ball, but Parks managed to turn it away from danger.
Spinning, bouncing ball, but just didn't quite have enough pace on it.
Bouncing ball there caused problems for the Dover defence. And here's Calvin Brooks for Weymouth, driving one, saved by the feet of Parks.
Wasn't really the most convincing call originally there from Parks when the ball went through. I thought when he went back to Murray, I thought the lob was going to be on.
It's all over. Dover collect their second point of the season. It finishes Weymouth 1, Dover 1.
Brian, what are your thoughts on a point?
Yeah, we'll take a point. We've come to a stage where we're probably disappointed not to take 3 points. I felt the first 30 minutes were way below our standards, way below our energy levels and what we want in a performance. But second half, dominated, Just probably, if there was a criticism, we didn't really test our goalkeeper as much as I would have liked.
I mean, obviously we started slow. Maybe that could have been a 7-hour journey, whatever it was for a few of them. Grew into it, got the goal, nice goal, worked it well. Then had a few other opportunities. I'm not sure if it's a pen. Is it a pen? You guys might tell me, but our lads are saying it is. And listen, I'm a long way away, but it looked like he got the other side, Willow, but we didn't get it. And then we consider a real sloppy goal just before half-time, criminal really, which was a shame. And then second half, fair play to them. You know, they moved the ball around, which they do well. I mean, they've had a good result against Notts County here. They've beaten Solihull. So they're a decent side, and Brian plays the right way, doesn't he, from his Bournemouth days. But what I would say is our boys defending for their lives, and our keepers not had to make a save second half. For all their play and all their decent play, they didn't test our keeper.
Well, I think, Chris, that's a pretty fair and accurate assessment from the two managers. Dover had this horrible journey down here, 7 hours, missed the pre-match meal, etc., with the M25 nightmares that I'm sure many of the viewers know all too well, but actually started really bright.
Yeah, they did, yeah. They didn't use it as an excuse, which you can do sometimes. Remember Jim Smith, God bless him, when I was at Oxford, I think he threatened the driver to take over the wheel at one point. We were that late for a game, but you can use it as an excuse, but they didn't. No. They didn't. They were excellent first half, deservedly took the lead. This man getting into a pocket, Arthur, and it's a great strike. Brilliant strike, keeper no chance. Thoroughly deserved, passed it well and tactically got it spot on.
Yeah, as we'll see, may well have had a penalty before this, but he hits that sweet as you like, almost like a corner, just shapes it, and the goalie's got no chance.
Perfect strike, yeah, and much deserved.
Maybe that woke Weymouth up, I don't know, but they just started towards the end of the first half to put a bit of play together, having decided to go a bit more direct. And
That's right, yeah, playing three at the back, so and they were playing three up, so why not just turn it a little bit? But I mean, Andy Hudson-Taylor spot on. It was criminal, this. One man doesn't follow his runner, one man gets rolled too easily. Just here, it's a poor goal, but it's a good finish from Josh McCoy. He's a clinical finisher. Won't miss them, but real poor goal, and it was a bit of a hammer blow 4 minutes before the break, wasn't it?
It was. Of course, we don't have VAR at this level. If we did, would Dover have got an early penalty and potentially also seen Weymouth go down to 10? I think they might.
They would, yeah. Just a sort of worker ball, as they call them, over the top there. Gets in front, it's an absolute stonewall, no doubt about it, penalty. Yes, it should be a sending off. Don't like seeing players being sent off, to be honest, but the defender knows. He knows. He has that wry look, but the referee needs some help from the linesman. He didn't get it. I'll give him an out, probably too far away.
Very generous of you. On we go to our final roundup. Now, such has been the mediocre start to the season from Torquay that manager Gary Johnson felt the need to apologise to the fans before this weekend's game. Would, I wonder, Southend sense a weakness in the southwest? Jake Watson has the details.
Gary Johnson and Phil Brown have pretty much seen it all as football managers, but neither would have predicted their poor start to the season. Clydie Lolos and then Danny Wright spurning the first opportunities for the home side. And that pretty much set the tone for the rest of the game. Torquay huffing and puffing, but not quite finding the finish to break the deadlock. Southend haven't won since the opening day. Worrying signs for the side, just relegated from the Football League. This about as close to scoring as they came today. Torquay boss Gary Johnson has apologised to the fans for their start to the season, picking up just one win from the opening 6 games. But huge relief around Playmore in the 90th minute as Connor Lemon High Evans was on hand to score the winning goal. Last season's runners-up hoping this can be the kick-start their season so desperately needed. Bromley haven't had the best of starts to the new season, but the same can't be said for striker Michael Cheek. The division's top goal scorer last season, he's scored in every game so far this campaign. 19 minutes in, and Cheek was on the score sheet once again. Last season, Barnet finished second bottom, and things don't appear to be improving under Harry Kewell, although the manager was absent from today's game as he began the first of a 3-game touchline ban. However, despite their winless start to the season, the visitors were not without their chances. Cian Flanagan curling an effort from just outside the area, wide of the post. But the problems for Barnet are at the back. 17 goals conceded before this afternoon. Chris Bush made it 19. These two have each managed just one win so far this season, but the home side opened the scoring after 26 minutes. Ira Jackson Jr. scoring on his first start for the club. Aldershot's first 3 points came in midweek and clearly carried that confidence into this afternoon. Corey Andrews rounding a couple of players before hitting the post. But the visitors and Corey Andrews didn't have to wait long to find the back of the net. Just a few minutes after the restart, and they were back level. But Aldershot haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 10 games. They really should have dealt with this long throw better. Josh Umera heading home. That's 5 for the season already. But Aldershot quickly wiped the smiles off the faces of those Wealdstone players. They were back level when Corey Andrews expertly controlled the ball and found the finish to score his 5th in as many games.
He likes that take and finish as Corey Andrews by the looks of it, but we must start with your old team, Torquay. Yes. That is a much needed late home win, and who else but Lemonade Evans?
That's right, huge win, just constant pressure, I'm guessing, towards the end, but a little bit of calmness here. Comes out to Dean Moxey, what a ball this is across goal, and had a great season last season, really good signing for the club, and it's a big win.
Oh, as you can see.
As you can see with Downsy and Gary there. Yeah, got close last season, can they get closer?
Yeah, Bromley are hard, obviously, to play against at home, but Barnet look a little bit at 6 and 7. Harry Kuehl trying to find a way, but if you give Michael Cheek penalties, he will score.
Yeah, scoring, it's a record, isn't it? Scored in every game. They were excellent last season. Chris Bush there, real big player for them. Got close last season, lots going on behind the scenes, club on the up for sure.
Yeah, and Wealdstone love a goal fest. 2-2 again with all the shots today. Obviously turned a bit of a corner in midweek.
Yeah, but it's nice to be a fan of Wealdstone then, isn't it?
I would hope so.
You're going to see goals, but that's what you want to see when you turn up as a fan. You want to see goals, you want to see a bit of excitement.
Loads of goals in the National League already this season. An early check then on the early season table. Chesterfield lead the way. They are unbeaten, one of a couple of sides near the top that have yet to taste defeat. But from the bottom up, Dover, obviously starting on -12, now have 2 points to show for their fight. Barnet and Aldershot, as well as Kings Lynn, make up the nominal bottom 4, if you like, at this early stage. Southend must do better, I would think. And then at the top, as I mentioned, Chesterfield lead the way, 17 points from 7 played. Grimsby could overtake them were they to win the game in hand. And yet, starting already to see the teams you might guess with the budgets and the playing staff to match around those top spots. My thanks, as always, to Mr. Hargreaves, who's got a nominally shorter journey home than I do. Thanks for your company. See you next week at Chesterfield.